Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of chakraboosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos. And this is your energy forecast for March 2020. I'm going to start with 3 themes, and then I'm going to talk about some dates that are important, and finally I'm going to draw 2 goddess cards to help complement whatever came up through the themes and the dates that we discuss. So first of all, the first big theme that my guides gave me is the longest one I've ever had, but it's really beautiful, and it is look back in love to proceed with passion. Look back in love to proceed with passion. And I'll get into it in detail, but this is about how we are starting in retrograde and we're looking at things, we're reviewing. People make a big deal out of Mercury retrograde being about technology and contracts, but we forget that the most important thing about it is not the little inconveniences that it creates, but rather the opportunity it creates to take a pause and to reassess. And whenever we reassess, my guides wanted me to be really clear that there's a tendency to go into judgment, which does us no good at all. So feel into your sweet heart right now. Just feel into your heart. We're already beginning the month in Mercury retrograde. So hopefully it started in February, mid-February, the 16th or 17th, depending on where you are on the planet. And it continues and it's deep now. And as you reassess, as you review, as you remember, can you do that with love, with compassion, with forgiveness? Can you be supportive to yourself? That is absolutely key because it's going to clear the way for the fiery energies that are coming in. We have, for the northern hemisphere, we have a spring equinox, and for everyone, we have a beautiful new moon in Aries in the last third of the month. So that's why we're looking back in love or with love to proceed with passion. The second theme surprised me and really touched me. I feel like it's sweet, and that is releasing shame. We have so much shame as a culture, and in particular, releasing shame around sexuality. But all shame, just shame of feeling unworthy. But I also saw that it had to do with sexuality as well. So just general unworthiness. Can you look at it as you're doing this retrograde work and really have compassion for any part of yourself that's been feeling shame, because we're really ready to let go of a big chunk of shame collectively, together. Now, I'd love to say all of it, but we're human, and collectively we've got these energies in our field. But we do have a chance to heal a big chunk. Okay, so it's also about releasing shame. And finally, the last theme, I couldn't figure out how to say it exactly, but it has to do with self-referral, becoming clearer on who you are, becoming more supportive in your relationship with self, and making your relationship with yourself the most important one, so that you can then have more clean, clear relationships with everyone else. So you aren't doing things to please, you aren't doing things to create a particular image, or you're just doing them because they are authentically you. Can you feel that? And you're getting in touch this month more and more about what is authentically you, who you are, what you want, what you've done, and what you're done with. That's huge. At the end of the retrograde period, there's this huge just, I'm done. I'm done with that. Put a period on it. Okay, so those are the 3 themes. Let's look at some dates now. Let me take a drink of water here. Put it down here. I'm coming to you from Brussels, Belgium, and I had a fire in here just a moment ago behind me, and it's still warm on my back, and it's causing me to be very thirsty. Okay, so let's look at the dates. First of all, we begin with Mercury retrograde. It started February 16th, 17th, and depending on where you are in the world, and then it goes all the way until the 10th, which I'll talk about in just a moment, but we begin the month with it, and that's an important energy of self-reflection. So use it for that. What patterns do you see? What memories are coming up? Journal with your dreams, because they will often give you things during Mercury retrograde. Then on the 3rd, I just want to note 3-3 is powerful. That's solar plexus energy. You might actually invite, please, muses, give me ideas around how I can redo things, since we're at the beginning of the month in the Mercury retrograde. And then if you get inspired ideas on how to redo things, you can just immediately go into action. If not, and you get inspired ideas in that 3-3 energy, that solar plexus energy, that are brand new, like out of the gate kind of activities, then I want you to shelf them until the second half of the month. Just be patient. That's what Mercury retrograde's asking us to do. And you could actually look at your patterns around anything related to those ideas. Can you feel that? So that you can shift anything you want before you actually initiate them in the second half or last third of the month. So I just want to do a shout out real quick to 3-3. On 3-9, March the 9th, we have a full moon in Virgo at 11:27 a.m. Pacific. So adjust for your place in the world, adjust the time. And that means we're looking at completions. Yay! Even tiny ones, because Virgo's into details. So anything, even the smallest little steps that you've taken since the last new moon, which was 2 weeks ago, or the last Virgo new moon, which was 6 months ago. Those are two places you might look back and see, what progress have I made on any intentions or any things I started at those times, and then celebrate it. We don't celebrate enough in our culture. We set a lot of intentions, especially in the spiritual world. We set intentions a lot, but sometimes forget to go back and really acknowledge all the accomplishments, even the little baby steps. And that's important here. It's a Virgo full moon, so you might want to look at anything that you want to celebrate around home, health, the earth, because it's an earth sign. We've got that root chakra energy with Virgo. Anything, any projects that are logic oriented and take detail, that sort of thing. Did I say family? I think Virgo has a lot of that family energy in it. So those particular types of things you could celebrate and look at the most, but feel free to celebrate absolutely anything and find something. Okay? Deal? Now on the 10th, Mercury goes direct, but remember, it's not a toggle. It's not an on-off button. Mercury goes direct, and then there's a shadow period, so hold on to your hat. Keep being patient. This is really, really important. We're going to wait until the fiery energy of the second half of the month to really initiate new things. On the 13th of March, we have a Friday the 13th. I just wanted to point that out because it's playful, especially if you like mysterious or mystical types of things. We have a Scorpio moon on Friday the 13th, so it might be a playful time to just have fun in almost a Halloween-y kind of way. Or you can take your belief, if you have a belief in the past that Friday the 13th was unlucky, and make it your lucky day. Make it your lucky day. Just really pay attention on the 13th, because when we set an intention and when we look for the good, it shows up a whole lot more. On the 20th of March, we have spring equinox in the northern hemisphere and fall equinox in the southern hemisphere. Now, the energies that are coming in, especially with the new moon on the 24th, are far more fiery and spring-like. So if you're in the southern hemisphere and you feel fall coming, but you've got this energy of like, doesn't feel like I'm ready to incubate or hibernate or move more toward, a death cycle into Earth. If it feels more like it's still initiatory, that's probably why, and that's fine. You can still begin some great projects at the end of this month. So that is the 20th equinox. Now, equinoxes and all the turning points of the seasons are very important in getting in touch with our planet. And nowadays we're a little out of touch with the Earth herself. So use the turning of the seasons as an opportunity for you to actually get in touch with the seasons more. Go outside on the 20th and really feel the shift. Whichever part of the world you're in and whichever way the shift is going, acknowledge, sort of do a little bow to Mother Earth. You'll feel really good about that. On March 24th at 3:29 a.m. Pacific, we have a new moon in Aries. Now, new moons are for new beginnings. And Aries is the first sign, so it's about new beginnings. It's the first astrological sign. Also, Aries is fire, and fire is about taking action and initiating. Get up and go, 0 to 60. So this has initiation energy written all over it. What do you want to initiate? Especially something that you're passionate about, because that fire energy could be something you've never tried before, or could be something you're renewing and doing in a completely different way because of the Mercury retrospection that you went through in the first half of the month. But you might want to really look at what scares you, because Aries is the warrior energy that is courageous. So this is the time that if there's something you've been putting off, because Aries doesn't put off. So if there's something you've been putting off, particularly because you're scared, this is the perfect time to initiate it, to really take action on it. Okay, so let me take a breath with that. I love that. And that's it, guys. I'm trying to do my energy forecast a little more compactly. I'm still going to do 2 goddess cards. So I'm going to take 2. I'm going to shuffle the goddess cards. These are Doreen Virtue's goddess cards, and I will shuffle them 3 times. And I'm asking for guidance, not to change what I've talked about in the themes or in the dates I've brought up, the planets and what they're doing, but rather to just add more depth and juice. Okay, so first card. Let's see what we got. I'm going to use my glasses here. Looks like I got Arakura, a Celtic and German goddess. Her word here is blossoming. Blossoming. Interesting that we get that at the beginning of the month, right? You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process, and do not give up. Wow. Okay, so this is interesting because the initiatory energy is more in the second half of the month, but this is telling us that we're just getting started in the first half of the month. And that really, when I feel into that, that feels really good. I'm going to take a little sip here, because Arakura is reminding us that she's coming in to say, okay, maybe we're in retrospect energy. We're in, retrospective energy with Mercury retrograde, but it's energy that is cleaning up things so we can take initiation. So the initiation process really begins in the beginning of the month. So you might want to look at it that way so that you don't feel like you are so impatient. You're not waiting for Mercury retrograde to be over. It's part of the process of clearing things so that you can take initiation in the second half of the month. So Arakura is also a prosperity goddess. She is, she's tied to prosperity as well, and brings good luck around. You might even see more coins and more coins to collect, which was one of the fun things I love to have people do to just feel more abundant. So you might want to collect coins this month. Okay, so let's do number 2 goddess card. Oh, abundancia, abundancia. So here we go, prosperity again. And what this card says, here, I'll hold it there for a minute. What this card says at the bottom is the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. Now remember, I took that card for the second half of the month. And in the second half of the month, we'll be coming out of the retrograde shadow period. We'll be coming into, in the Northern Hemisphere, spring equinox energy. And everyone, the whole world, coming into the new moon energy, the initiatory energy of Aries and fire, and go for it on the 24th. So the second half of the month has this kind of energy, really going forward and going for it. So I love that we got this card from Abundancia because she's reminding us to receive. So even as we're going out, and I just got this great analogy from my guides. So hang on, let me use this. Okay, so when we're waiting, and remember it's not so much waiting because we're preparing during Mercury retrograde for the initiatory action. So we're in that period of not taking as much of the action. That would put us like cars at a starting line of a race because we're excited to get going with the fire energy. Well, when it comes, it's like the gun goes off and we go onto the track, and we'll have a tendency to want to just go around and speed around because we've been pausing more and we have this built up energy that just wants to move forward. So this goddess card is reminding us that we need to be able to receive. And in fact, my guides showed me the racetrack because they wanted me to see the pit stops. So you're not only going to need to be able to receive, but you're going to want to plan how you're going to receive. Because you'll be so forward movement oriented, so much in that fire energy, that you might get lost in that if you don't plan your pit stops right in. And when a car goes in a pit stop, tires get changed, bolts get tightened, fuel is given, the driver can shake it out a bit. Basically, there's so much self-care happening in a pit stop. I recently saw The Art of Racing in the Rain, and I learned, wow, we all need to do pit stops, right? And I believe that that's what Abundancia, her name's hard to say, Abundancia, is asking us to do. So how can you plan in your pit stops so that you're not only receiving, but you are scheduling your receiving in the powerful fire energy of the second half of this month? Okay, that's it. That's everything for March, including the beautiful goddesses of prosperity. So it looks like it's going to be a very prosperous month and a month of seeing the retrograde period as being a prep for the initiatory period of the second half of March. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I will see you on the next video. Have a blessed week.